Okay, let's get going. See, we got a small group today. Okay, so um, let's see. The theme for today. I know I've shared with you guys that my wife is having a brain procedure next Wednesday, and so naturally there's a whole bunch of mental activity going on, right? And what I notice for the most part for me is there's this my mind wants to sort of fast track this. I want to know the answer. I want to get to the other side of whatever is looming, and I want to know what happens. And there's some sense of, I think, security that comes from that, or at least the illusion of security, which is like, oh, if I know what's going to happen in the future, then I can relax right now. And what I'm noticing most of all is that there's a speediness to it. And this is not a new phrase that I've shared with you guys, but it's a saying. I think it's actually a military saying. It's like slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And the idea is that, if there's something hectic going on, there's this tendency to like try to rush through it and get to the other side. And what ends up happening is we fumble and we like drop things. And so the idea about like, well, if you actually just slow things down, ironically, um, you'll get to the other side of it much faster. And so the speed ultimately comes from just making sure that things are smooth. And I think the same goes for a lot of mental processes. So when we slow things down, there's two things that happen. The first one is it's slowing down is not the absence of action. I think it's just a much more deliberate, focused, intentional form of action. And there's this illusion that we get wrapped up in, which is, okay, just got to do this thing quickly, and that's where the fumbling and all that stuff happens. So don't confuse slowing down or just you know taking a moment to breathe and collect yourself as the absence of action or engagement. And then what it does lead to is clarity. Right? So being able to notice that, oh my gosh, my mind wants the answer about how things are going to work out. It's like, okay, Ollie, none of that's going to happen until next Wednesday. You won't know. So in the meantime, what are you doing right now? And are you just rushing through things right now because you're so distracted, which sort of clouds things in the present moment? So my guess is this all resonates for you guys. Like, we're, as human beings, we're all prone to this kind of this desire to, especially in stressful situations, I want to know the outcome and how that affects the here and now. So let's spend a few minutes noticing just the quality of the energy, what the mind does, and how it impacts our, I guess, our performance on some level in the present moment. So, all right, let's try it out. So close your eyes. Take a couple of minutes just to land. And of course, what we're doing by closing the eyes is a direct move to actually slow things down. I think sight is, for most of us, is the predominant sense. And so by removing sight or allowing external stimuli to enter the nervous system, there's an immediate sort of spaciousness that we can find, where it's like, oh, okay. That doesn't mean you don't see anymore, right? If you pay close attention, there's still shapes and colors and movement in the eyes. But as we allow all of that, so the simplicity of that, all to just, there it is. I don't control the shapes, the flashes of light. And you can slowly bring your attention inward. Notice what it's like in the middle of your chest. The middle of the belly. Our torso's home base. That's what we could refer to like the heart center. I'm just trusting that all of the busyness of the mind, all the thoughts, all the memories, all that stuff will be there in 8 minutes when we wrap this up. So for now, see if you can very intentionally just lean into just the sensation of noticing your core and the belly and the chest. And whatever you find there is welcome. So if it's butterflies or it's a speedy energy, it's like, yeah, it's okay. You can make space for that. And if it's calm and open, just notice that. And from this place of center, let's get curious and explore. So to use our mind to do an exercise here. And so think of a recent time where you felt kind of overwhelmed, you were worried about something. It doesn't have to be anything huge or dramatic. It could literally just be like, oh gosh, I'm going to be late for an appointment. And then see if you can notice how in that moment, as you're having this thought of like, oh gosh, something's going to go south, something's not going to work out. See if you can notice how your whole system speeds up, especially the mind. There's a freneticness to it. It's like, oh, I got to move faster to solve this, or I need to move faster to get myself out of this situation. And I need to make decisions right now, quickly. So if you can just notice that. And then imagine yourself in exactly that same situation, but with this newfound superpower to just take a breath, slow things down. Still the same situation, same problem that needs solving, same issue that needs dealing with. But now you're connected to this core, this calm. And see if or how that recalibrates your relationship to that situation. Is making 5 rapid fire decisions right now in this moment, is that going to solve anything, or is it just potentially going to add more chaos? See if you can sort of see things more clearly. Slowing things down, making more deliberate choices, more deliberate action. So slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. I'm going to deal with one thing at a time. I'm going to do so wholeheartedly, with intention. Of course, this is just a thought experiment, right? We have no idea if or how exactly that would have changed the outcome of the situation you're thinking about. But it's, just the idea here is, again, for this to be an experiential, embodied sense of, oh man, if I could go back and redo that, but with this sense of slowness, deliberateness, smoothness. How might that change that experience? And then imagine if you could do that all day long, if you could live your life from this place of center, slowness, deliberateness, just because everything around you is speeding up and maybe other people are getting frantic and raising their voices. See if you can stay connected to that core. Say, yeah, I don't need to do that. The other phrase that just popped into my mind is staying cool as a cucumber. So whatever that means to you, just like,
Hay muchos que, yeah,
the cool thing is we all know how to do this. The hard part is remembering to do it. Sort of having the wherewithal in those situations to be able to just drop in and say, wait, slow down, slow down. And we'll take a deep breath in and out through the mouth, relaxing the throat, the neck, the shoulders. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and in, out, relaxing the chest, the belly, so maintaining that sense of core. Hold the out breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes, come on back. Yeah, so this is my work for the coming days and certainly coming weeks. This is just to keep coming back to that place of I have no control over what's happening around me, but I do have some semblance of control over sort of the, how what extent I let myself get hijacked by sort of frenetic energy. So my goal is to not do that. So appreciate you all. Have an awesome weekend and see you on Monday, hopefully.